This is Ryan Gonzalez, CEO and owner of Bowhunter Outdoors, and this is my why. When I was a kid, I followed my dad everywhere on the mountain. I learned how to not only be a successful hunter, but to kill for meat and not for sport. When I was finally at the age to hunt, I continued to embrace hunting because it's where I was able to distress, relax, and feel one with nature and God. In January of 2019, my wife surprised me with a getaway stay in Las Vegas. During our short stay, I started to not feel well. The morning of the day that we were going to return home, I woke up in the middle of the night in a lot of pain, and I couldn't go back to sleep. Driving home, the pain hurt so much that it was better that I drive to be able to focus on something rather than just sit there in pain in the passenger seat thinking of my pain. Arriving home, I took some ibuprofen and went to bed. The pain continued, and then I decided to go to the Instacare, which they then sent me to the ER. The ER immediately put me on a bed and had me sent in for a CAT scan. Into my room, I found my wife Becca there waiting for me. The doctor then came in and said, "We have some bad news. We have found a large mass in your pancreas, and we need to have it looked at immediately." Doctors fit me into their surgery schedule, and in a matter of days, I went to get an endoscopic ultrasound with biopsy. The doctor reported that the mass he biopsied looked like a tumor. Pancreatic tumors are 95% adenocarcinoma and 5% neuroendocrine. The doctor stated that this mass looked like a pancreatic adenocarcinoma, cancer stage 1, type B. He then went on to state that it was imperative to get surgery to remove half of my pancreas and my spleen, which was called a Whipple procedure, and then based on the results, do chemotherapy, radiation to follow. This news hit me like a ton of bricks, because if you look up pancreatic adenocarcinoma, outcomes are very bleak. It is listed as one of the top 5 deadliest cancers, and survival rates of living the next 5 years was only 7%. My wife and I quickly scheduled a meeting with the surgeon to discuss surgery options and the possible outcomes. They gave us hope by stating we first need to see what the biopsy results are, but either way, it is likely you will need surgery. Then a few days later, we were called. A miracle had happened. The biopsy results came back as scar tissue, but it was inconclusive why there was scar tissue on my pancreas, and they assumed the scar tissue was covering a neuroendocrine tumor, so they wanted to still continue with the surgery. I couldn't believe I was part of that 5%. Even the GI doctor that was positive I had an adenocarcinoma tumor was dumbfounded and wanted to go back in and rebiopsy. Was to continue with surgery because we still had questions about a neuroendocrine tumor. So we met with the surgeon a couple days prior to surgery, and the surgeon stated based on the results of the biopsy, he wanted to watch the tumor to see if it had changed, and if it had changed, then we would move forward with surgery. So 3 months later, I had a CT scan that showed the mass had decreased in size. Then the next 3 months, CT scan number 2 showed that the tumor was the same size, but now showed spots on my liver. I had to do a liver biopsy. Having a liver biopsy was one of the most painful things I've gone through, because they stabbed me in the stomach while awake because they didn't want to hit the lungs and needed me to breathe a certain way. It honestly reminded me of when you got a deer or elk, but the results came back inconclusive. We did an MRI which still showed up questions on the liver and pancreas. So then our doctor discussed with us to do a diagnostic laparoscopy to get a better look at everything and to retake some biopsies of the pancreas. So after the surgery, the doctor said that the liver looks great. The pancreas came back as not adenocarcinoma, but we could not 100% eliminate a neuroendocrine tumor. So you have two choices: surgery or continue to watch the tumor. So far, we have continued to just watch and monitor the tumor. I learned from this experience to never take life for granted. Live every day as if it were your last. Spend as much time as you can with your family and kids, and build long-lasting memories with them. If you have dreams, don't just chase them, accomplish them. One of my dreams was to film my own hunts and post them on YouTube, so I could share my own personal hunting encounters and experiences with all of you. Now, I am no professional filmer by any means, so I hope that you don't hold that against me. Please follow me on my hunting adventures, and I will do my best to bring you the best videos possible.